Hi everyone, here I am back at work. I'm finally out of the kitchen, no longer eating, no longer cooking. Now I'm just looking forward to you all coming back, hopefully sooner than later. Hopefully we'll still have the range open on the 10th. And I know we got our lockdown coming up again, so it's a little discouraging, but at least we'll have our golf soon. So look forward to seeing everybody. Okay, so we're looking at number 5 and 12. So we have the penalty area that runs up the right-hand side of 5 and down the right-hand side of 12. If you hit your ball in this area, even if you can't find your ball, by definition, under the rules of golf, your ball is not lost. So basically in golf there's two separate scenarios. There's a scenario that you play out from when you have a lost ball. There's a scenario that you play out from when your ball's in a penalty area. And that's why you have to be virtually certain that your ball is in a penalty area in order to proceed under the penalty area options. Even though you can't find your ball, it's actually irrelevant because you know your group is virtually certain that your ball is in fact in that penalty area. I know it seems really weird because if you can't find your ball in order to hit it, it seems like it's lost, but it actually isn't lost. Like I say, it's in the penalty area. So as it relates to number 12, if you hit your shot and it either lands on the green or by the side of the green, and then it takes like a hard kick into the hazard, it doesn't matter whether or not you find your ball or you don't find it. Your ball's in the hazard, so you proceed under the hazard rule options. So now I'm going to talk about penalty areas and what we call the last point of entry. I wanted to clarify this first before I go into more detail next week with respect to number 12. Okay, so now I have a hole that looks like, maybe for example, number 3 on our course where there's the creek you have to go across and then there's a tree on the other side. I mean, this probably wouldn't apply as much on our course because the likelihood of hitting that tree and bouncing back would be slim. But let's say hypothetically, you hit your shot and your ball crosses over the hazard. That's what I'm referring to as the first point of entry. And then it hits a tree on the other side and then ricochets back into the hazard. So a lot of times people think that the reference point is the first point. Under the definitions, it's always about the last point of entry. So this is going to apply to when we get into number 12 again. So let's say now the ball hits the tree, it ricochets back. That's where I've got that X where it says last point. And then now what we need to do is exercise our options from there. So one of the options would be to hit your ball from inside the penalty area, assuming you find your ball and you like how it's sitting. The other would be to go back to where you originally hit your last shot from, and that's stroke and distance. You can also keep that point between you and the flag and go back along that line as far as you want. Because this area is now a red, you can actually drop within 2 club lengths on the other side as long as you're no nearer the hole. A lot depends on where the flag is as to whether or not you're going to be able to do that. So in the case of where the flag's in the middle, dropping on that side would probably put you closer. But in the case of where the flag's on the left, you could probably drop to the right and not be closer. So this will be one of the things we'll discuss in more detail when we get to number 12 as well. I hope you found that helpful and not too confusing. It's all about teeing you up with a foundation to make it easier for you to understand number 12 next week.